Hello po mga ka-viral and welcome back again to this YouTube channel. Latest update na naman tayo ngayon. Mas nagiging kaabang-abang ngayon ang magiging susunod na hakbang ng gobyerno hinggil sa mga senador at kongresista na mga sangkot sa anomalya at korupsyon sa national budget ng bansa at sa mga flood control projects. Ngayong hawak na ng Office of the Ombudsman at formal nang ipinasa ni Ombudsman Rimulya sa Sandigan Bayan ang mga ebidensya laban sa mga opisyal na mga sangkot at pinangalanan, ay inaantay na lamang sa ngayon ang paglabas ng mga arrest warrant ng mga pinangalanang senador at kongresista. Na ayon sa balita, ngayong buwan ng Disyembre umano ay ipapaaresto na umano sila. Una nang ipinaaresto ang 18 mga individual, kabilang na ang mga taga-DPWH, mga district engineers at iba pa na pinangalanan. Matatandaang pinangalanan sina Senator Jinggoy, Senator Villanueva, Escudero, former Senator Revilla, former Senator Nancy Binay, DepEd Secretary Angara at pati si Grace Poe ay idinawit din bilang chairman ng Committee on Appropriations ng Senado. Samantala, Senator Bato de la Rosa ay wala ng takas sa ICC at na-corner na nga ng Interpol. Korte Suprema ay nagdesisyon na sa TRO or Temporary Restraining Order na hiningi ni Senator Bato de la Rosa. Hindi matanggap-tanggap ni Bato ang desisyon ng gobyerno hinggil sa ICC arrest warrant nito. Ayon sa abogado ng gobyerno na si Solicitor General Berberabe, na siyang pumalit sa tinanggal na Solicitor General na si Bernardo Guevara, ay kung paano inaresto si FPRRD ay ganun din ang stand ng gobyerno kay Senator Bato. Hindi umano tututulan ng gobyerno ang arrest warrant ng ICC kung isisilbi ito ng Interpol sapagkat kaalyado umano ng Pilipinas ang Interpol, kahit na hindi na tayo sakop ng ICC. Malaki umano ang tulong ng Interpol sa bansa noong pagdakip kay Alice Go, Arnie Teves at ngayon ay hiningi ulit ang tulong ng Interpol sa pag-aresto kay Harry Roque at Zaldico na parehong nagtatago na sa ibang bansa na tumakas sa mga kaso nila dito sa Pilipinas. Kung kaya ay handa ang gobyerno na tulungan ang Interpol bilang pagbabalik ng kanilang tulong sa gobyerno. Ang mga kaso umano ni Senator Bato de la Rosa ay hinggil sa international humanitarian law ay crime against humanity. Matatandaang noong panahon ng Duterte administration ay tila walang pagsisisi sina Senator Bato bilang PNP chief sa pagpapatupad ng war on drugs at AJK sa buong bansa dahil sa kanilang paniniwala na para ito sa kapakanan ng mga Pilipino. Ito'y sa kabila ng panawagan ng kabilang grupo, mga human rights advocates at grupong relihiyon na isa itong paglabag sa karapatang pantao at kailangan ng itigil. Subalit ngayon ay tila bumahag ang buntot ni Senator Bato at hindi na nagpapakita sa Senado na mag-iisang buwan na. Kung kaya ay isinusulong na ngayon ang pagreklamo sa ethics complaint sa Senado laban kay Bato dahil hindi ito nagtatrabaho bilang senador subalit tumatanggap umano ng sahod.
Mga kabunyog, mga kababayan, welcome sa isang namang episode ng ating Kape at Kwentuhan. Mga kabunyog, mukhang magiging exciting itong susunod na mga araw. Sinigurado ni Ombudsman Boying Rimulya na 2 senador ang mai-issuehan ng arrest warrants bago ang December 15. O yan, ang lapit na niyan. Ang lapit na niyan, mga kabunyog, mga kababayan. Sinabi ito ni Ombudsman Boying Rimulya, wala siyang pagdadalawang isip, sinigurado niya. Ito'y sabi niya, ang sigurado 2. At sa susunod pa raw na mga araw, lalo na pagpasok ng taong 2026, sunod-sunod na raw 'yan. Sino kaya? Sino kaya sa tingin nyo? Kabunyog Ray Marcaballes, kumusta kayo sa Barcelona? Kumusta kayo dyan sa Barcelona, Spain? Sino kaya sa tingin nyo, mga kabunyog? Ang sigurado kung 2 yan, apat kasi yung mga senador na halos nung dati, ito yung mga pinapangalanan na sangkot dito sa mga anomalya sa flood control. Siyempre, nangunguna dyan si Jinggoy Estrada, Joel Villanueva, Chis Escudero, Bong Revilla. Yan yung 4 na mga na halos sigurado na mai-issuehan ng arrest warrants. Pero nitong huli kasi, mga kabunyog, nagbago ang ihip ng hangin ng ICI. Hindi na nila nirekomenda na kasuhan si Chis Escudero. Ang rekomendasyon nila kay Chis Escudero ay magsagawa pang ombudsman ng dagdag pang mga investigasyon o malaliman pang investigasyon, case build-up. Kaya, alisin na natin si Chis Escudero dyan. Sa ngayon. So, nung isang araw, ang binalita naman, ang NBI ng Bulacan ay nagsampa na ng reklamo laban kay Jinggoy Estrada, kay Bong Revilla. Yan yung nabalita nung isang araw. Kaya parang ang lumalabas dito na dalawang ito na sinasabing sigurado, si Jinggoy Estrada, ano na yata ito? Sigurado na si Jinggoy. Kaya kumbaga ang lalabas parang Jinggoy Estrada at Joel Villanueva, o kaya Jinggoy Estrada tapos Bong Revilla. Yan yung kasi dalawa yung sinasabi ni Ombudsman Boying Rimulya na sigurado. Mga kabunyog. Ito yung pagkakasabi ni Ombudsman Boying. Ipakita ko ito. Yan mga kabunyog December 4. Ngayon niya yan sinabi. Ngayon lang yan sinabi ni Boying Rimulya. There will be warrants of arrest issued against 2 senators by December 15 and then more through the year. Marami yan. Sunod-sunod yan. Yan. Nakita nyo? Dalawang senador ang siguradong mai-issuehan ng arrest warrants by December 15. Mga kabunyog, mga kababayan. Sino kaya yan? Apat nga yung pinapangalanan na senador. Joel Villanueva, Jinggoy Estrada, Bong Revilla, Chis Escudero dati. Pero yun nga, si Chis Escudero, hindi nirekomenda ng ICI na kasuhan. Ang rekomendasyon ng ICI, palalimin pang investigasyon. So alisin natin si Chis. 3 na lang. Joel Villanueva, Jinggoy Estrada, Bong Revilla. Sino kaya dun sa 3? Kung titingnan natin yung inanunsyo ng NBI ng Bulacan, dalawa yung nirekomenda nilang kasuhan. Si Jinggoy Estrada at si Joel ay si Bong Revilla. Pero ang hula ni Charlie Paracale, si Estrada at Villanueva. Pwede rin 'yan. Pwede rin 'yan. Kaya lang 'yan. Diyan lang 'yan sa dalawa, Jinggoy at Villanueva or Jinggoy at Bong Revilla. Yan sa ngayon. Pero hindi ibig sabihin yan na yung iba ay hindi na ma-i-issuehan ng arrest warrants. Ito lang yung sigurado na ni Ombudsman Boying Rimulya. Ito yung may level na ng sigurado siya. Hindi naman magsasabi niyan si Boying Rimulya kung hindi siya nakakasigurado kasi mapapahiya siya dyan. Pag hindi nangyari yan, mapapahiya siya dyan. Mga kabunyog, mga kababayan. Pero medyo mabigat ito. Kasi kapag inilabas yan ng December 15, kailangan ma-implement yan. Ibig sabihin, bago talaga yung Pasko, magkakaroon ng pag-aresto. Mga kabunyog. Kaya medyo mabigat itong sinasabing ito ni Boying Rimulya. Sa bagay, sabi naman ni John Vic Rimulya, handa naman ang PNP. At saka kailangan talaga nilang may arestuhin bago ang Kapaskuhan kasi matagal na nilang sinabi yan. Ang pagkakaalam nga ng taong bayan, dapat kasama dyan si Chis Escudero. Pero biglang pumihit yung ICI. Anyway, mga kabunyog, mga kababayan, sabi ni Kabunyog Maria Lynn, sinabi na daw si Revilla at saka si Jinggoy. Kapag si Revilla yan at saka si Jinggoy, grabe tong dalawa na to. Talagang makukulong na naman tong dalawa na to, Jinggoy at Revilla. Pag nakulong na naman tong Jinggoy at Revilla na to, mauulit na naman. Hindi na natuto yung dalawang to. Sila na yung nakasuhan noon sa PDAP scam ni Napoles. O ngayon na naman, sila na naman ang mauuna. Pero sabi naman ni Ombudsman Boying, ano yan, yung dalawa na yan, una lang yan. Sa mga susunod na araw, lalo na pagpasok ng 2026, sunod-sunod na raw yan. O, kaya ibig sabihin, yung minorya pala sa Senado, ano? Pabawas ng pabawas. Ha? Sabagay, hindi naman incumbent na congressman si Bong Revilla. Hindi naman hindi naman incumbent. Pero kung mauuna si Jinggoy, medyo mabigat ito mga kabunyo. Kaya ano ito? Hindi pwedeng hindi nila gawin yan na maaresto yung mga senador na yan na sinasabi. Kasi nangako sila niya. Pag hindi nila tinupad yan, nila Ombudsman Boying, mapapahiya ang administrasyon ni PBBM. Mga kabunyog, mga kababayan. Kaya, ano ito? Dito masusubukan ang administrasyon ni PBBM. Dito sa, kung mayroon nga bang maaarestong senador by December 15. Or kung hindi, kasi pwede namang, ang sabi naman, lalabas ang arrest warrant bago ang December 15 or by December 15. O di syempre, kaagad-agad i-implement yan bago magpasko. May makikita tayong pag-aresto. May makikita tayong pag-aresto. Sana nga magkatotoo yung sinasabi ni Ombudsman Boying Rimulya. Kasi matagal nang ang mga inaresto kasi nitong nakaraang mga araw, mga DPWH officials lang yun. Sa Sunwest nga, wala pang naaaresto eh. Wala pang naaaresto sa Sunwest. Panay pa lang yung DPWH Region 4B officials. Yung naaresto na 8 o 9 na ba yun? DPWH officials pa lang yun ng Region 4B. Wala pang Sunwest. Wala pang kongresista. Wala pang senador. Kaya itong announcement na ito ni Ombudsman Boying, magandang balita ito. Kung senador na ang maaaresto by December 15, yan ang hinihintay ng taong bayan. Pero kapag hindi nila nagawa yan, pawala ng pawala ang tiwala ng taong bayan sa ginagawang itong kampanya laban sa katiwalian sa flood control. Okay? O sige mga kabunyog, mga kababayan.
Out yung pagtaas ng population sa home city mo, no? But kaming magkatabi, Muntinlupa at saka Taguig, ano kami, two of the highest in Metro Manila and I think in the country. And basically lumilipat is from Central Luzon, from Bicol, from Visayas, Mindanao. Kasi nga, pag nakitang may trabaho, may libre ang edukasyon, hinahatid sa bahay yung mga gamot, di ba, lumilipat dito. Yeah. But you know, if we start building the railway, I'm 100% sure yung ating mga mall owners, yung mga land developers, will start their development kung saan yung mga stasyon ng tren. So, it will be such a good sign in the midterm. No? I'm a little bit cautious kasi of administration starting something pag last year na nila. Yeah. For many reasons. I mean, sa first year ng Marcos administration, the former DOTR secretary, parang biglang delay yung sa subway sa Metro Manila, di ba? So from having stations opened in 2026, naging 2027, naging 2028. Pag hindi mo administrasyon ang ginawa, ang daling ituro dun sa past, no? So if they actually started in 2026, imagine you have the whole 2026, the whole 2027. And it will really be a good sign that despite, you know, some, how do I put it diplomatically, animosity between the president and the vice president, painful discussions of impeachment between the House of Representatives and the Senate as an impeachment court, hindi casualty ang Mindanao. Because we will still put that funding. And 10 billion is basically the budget of 2 or 3 congressional districts, Mr. Chairman. So may I earnestly push that we include that in the amendments today. Kahit 5-10 billion, kahit saan program yung
We'll confer and consult with His Honor kung saan magiging accounts doon. But I support that. Maganda ho talaga Mindanao
Well,
Railway.
Senator Villanueva was whispering to me that there's only 12 senators here, but I was informed my sister is here, so there's 13 already. So we can decide. The second question also is, it's music to the ears of our majority leader that meron tayong quorum. So the second one, I do not know if fully capable na ang DOTR of building the Subic Clark,
Yeah, add natin.
unlike the ano, but can we consider that sa BICAM if they say that they can do it? Kasi yung sa Mindanao, sinabi na nilang diretsuhan eh. Yung sa Subic Clark, they said na totoong since 2016, 2017 pinag-uusapan.
Yeah.
Nung
Naalala
una
ko yun.
hiningi natin yon as a grant, and then ngayon pinackage nila. Ang problema sa package, ano eh, pag hindi na-approve yung buong package, hindi rin siya approve.
Subic Clark Railway tayo. Wala. Yeah. Yung Subic Clark po, alam ko it's right now nasa parang feasibility study.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Alam ko
But ang
nandoon.
problema nga, sinama yung feasibility study sa isang malaking network. Sinama
Sa
pati dun
NSCR, sa North-South
Yes.
Commuter Rail.
Oo.
Yeah, I
but
remember.
anyway, let me just put
Yeah,
that on
sige.
record and be a kind colleague to Senator Lapid, who's from Pampanga, no, Pampanga Tarlac, and see sa BICAM if we have some room to
Yeah.
to look at
Ako,
that
ako,
project.
in principle, minority leader, ako I support transportation, logistics. Talagang naghahabol lang tayo. In fact, yung mga ginagawa ho natin ngayon is just playing catching
Yes.
up. So I support that. Mr.
No,
President.
and I will tell you why. It's because of our experience in Fort Bonifacio or BGC. Imagine ang buong Fort Bonifacio is over 500 hectares, ang BGC is 100 hectares, but look at the development. Samantalang ang Clark is between 27,000 to 30 something thousand hectares, depende kung isasama mo yung mountainous areas, Puera pa Subic. So if you can really fix you have a beautiful international airport in Clark, you have a deep port in Subic. Subic is very not only symbolic but important in our fight sa West Philippine Sea, 'di ba? In the future, pwede talagang ayusin ng ating Navy 'yon. So if you really have a train
Yeah, tama ho kayo.
for goods and people between Clark and Subic, even yung synergy na inimagine ng mga Amerikano when they built it in the late 1800s, early 1900s, can be fully utilized if we have that, no?
Tama.
But yun nga, natatakpan ng mga, how do I say it, no? Yung mga mas urgent. So I think these two railways,
Yeah.
Mindanao and Subic Clark, are both as important as others like the subway. But sometimes kasi pag napapanood mo sa news, araw-araw na traffic, nagiging mas urgent yung iba.
Yeah.
Pero actually, in terms of importance, magsing importante sila. In fact, I would argue it's even more important because if people move, ang ganda-ganda ng Bulacan, Tarlac, Pampanga, Nueva Ecija. So, but ang problema nga is the infrastructure,
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah. So, Mr. President, ako sinusuportahan ko itong railway system natin, and conceptually, Mr. President, we will support that in the budget. Ang iko-consult ko na lang ang ating minority leader in DOTR on how much to put para malaman natin na magagastos ho nila. For Subic Clark Railway for 2026, meron ng right-of-way fund under BCDA of amounting to 70 million pesos.
Okay.
So meron na rin silang intention to start the right-of-way acquisition for both projects actually. For
Yes.
both projects.
So, the next question is unprogrammed funds. No, you were telling me yesterday, Mr. Chairman, and let me give you that opportunity that although the majority wishes to keep it or the palace wishes to keep it, because in my research before 2022, walang unprogrammed walang ganun release, no? And you confirmed to me that in the past 3 years may unprogrammed pero lump sum.
Yung sagip portion. Meron
Yes.
meron doon unprogrammed sagip. At itong sagip portion is lump sum, no?
And not to use this as an opportunity to defend my colleague Senator Joel, but you know it's a little bit crazy that you have that fund that it's actually the executive that can release, but a district engineer is claiming that he can have it released for a senator without the senator knowing it. So I leave that to those investigating, but I'm just stating for the record na nakakabuang isipin na pwedeng ganon. So my first option is to ask na tanggalin to. But if we keep it, the chairman was telling me he has some reforms and some special provisions to make sure that it will not be abused and it will not because I don't want let me make it clear, I don't want it to be a black hole.
No. Tama ho kayo dyan.
Can you imagine if it's a black hole, then pag may na-release, anyone can say, si Governor ganito yung nagpa-release. Si Senator ganito nagpa-release. Si ganito pag-release. Wala kang kalaban-laban in this environment and in this in the present environment, no? Yes, go ahead, Majority Leader. I will always yield to you.
So just to clarify, I just want to clarify, Mr. President, the query of the good senator, the minority floor leader. Ang usapan nga natin ay dapat wala ng unprogrammed funds. Kung meron bang naiwan unprogrammed funds, Mr. President, may we request the chairperson to tell us what the unprogrammed funds is going to be used for? Like specifically? Kasi dyan po nagkaroon ng problema dito sa investigations na ito, yung scandals. I think the idea was dapat wala ng unprogrammed funds. But if the good sponsor can tell us what the unprogrammed funds are for, to be clear to all of us.
Yeah. Then after that, Mr. Chairman, maybe I will yield, but I have some proposals. But if any of our colleagues have proposals specifically on the unprogrammed fund, I will yield, Mr. President. Kasi kung ma-solve natin to, major to for transparency.
I'll be more than happy, Mr. President, to share with the body yung reforms na ginawa natin sa program. So dati ang program, meron doong 11 line items. Ang para sa akin, pinaka-controversial na line item doon, yung item called Sagip, na in 2024, 225 billion pesos, in 2025, 160 billion pesos. Ito yung lump sum, Minority Leader. So for 2026, tinanggal na natin to. From 11 items, reduce natin to 7, of which 3 are considered cash, the 4 non-cash. So the 3 considered cash are yung foreign-assisted projects, yung GOP counterpart, at yung AFP modernization program. So yung breakdown. Yung 4 na items are non-cash. They just need book entries para ma-record sa libro ng mga agencies. No, for example, for 2026, ang foreign assisted is about 97 billion pesos. Ito yung lahat ng mga loans na lalabas for 2026. Yung GOP counterpart of those loans is about 35 billion pesos. Tapos yung AFP modernization 30 billion pesos.
Yeah. So
wala na po yung Sagip for 2026.
If the good chairman
If with the indulgence of our minority leader, may I be allowed to intervene, Mr. President, distinguished colleague? Distinguished colleague, you were saying yung Sagip, it's just because that's just one component that I'm looking at.
Yes.
When you talk about the unprogrammed funds,
Yes.
when you talk about the entire DPWH fund, but the DPWH fund is such a big component po Iba-iba po, no?
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, in the recent years, may DOTR, DSWD, and DepEd would receive the largest share.
Correct.
And mostly for capital outlay and infrastructure projects. Is that correct, Your Honor?
Tama.
Yeah, Your Honor, ngayon ho, 2025, and as mentioned already by our minority leader, this representation is very much interested in looking at this item in the budget, and I have been lobbying with our fellow senators here to look into this because this is very dangerous, Mr. President, as you're
Correct.
all aware
Tama.
of what happened to this representation. You look at 2023, for instance, Mr. President, the 2023 allocation for unprogrammed is 807 billion. In 2024, the allocation for unprogrammed is 731 billion. Would that be a correct statement, Mr. President?
Tama po. Tama
Mr.
po.
President, now you look at the released funds. Released funds for 2023 is 332 billion pesos. Released funds in 2024 is 531 billion pesos under unprogrammed funds, Mr. President. This did not pass through the House or the Senate. Doon po sa 2023, flood control, 60 billion po yung nakalagay doon. Flood control lang. 2024, 155 billion unprogrammed. Release po ito, Mr. President. I'm not talking about allocation. Again, 244 billion released under DPWH, 155 billion flood control. Ang total release is 531 billion. Mr. President, what measures or safeguards are we looking at now? Because if this is the case, Mr. President, and we feel that if this particular program of the government is important, then we should not put it under unprogrammed, Mr. President.
Well, Mr. President, the safeguard is to remove it completely. So in 2026, we removed it completely, Mr. President.
In 2026.
Yes.
Because in the committee report that we're just talking about, there is a unprogrammed appropriations for 174
Yes.
billion, Mr. President.
That's why the component of those unprogrammed is foreign assisted projects of 97 billion pesos, GOP counterpart of those foreign assisted projects of 35 billion pesos, and the AFP modernization program of 30 billion pesos.
That is the that is satisfying, Mr. President,
Yes,
to hear
Mr. President.
from our chairman, and that is why we need this.
Correct.
We need this data, Mr. President. We cannot just rely on summaries, Mr. President, because if that is the case, I will definitely not support the unprogrammed item here in the budget, Mr.
Well,
President.
Mr. President, that's why during the Blue Ribbon hearing, we lumabas po doon kung paano po naabuso yung unprogrammed, and His Honor knows about the abuses that were made during the past. Kaya po tinanggal na po yung mga ibang components, especially po yung sagip. No, yun po yung tinanggal dahil yung sagip parang ginawa ng parang catch-all fund for all of the different expenses of government. Nandun na infrastructure, nandun na rin po yung kagaya ng sinabi niyo, yung DSWD, meron pa nga doon ICT, so naging catch-all na siya. But definitely nagastos po yan. Malaki doon na portion na gastos for infrastructure, especially flood control, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. And that's really why I am allergic, Mr. President, to unprogrammed funds. Because any Tom, Dick, or Harry can actually pinpoint anyone, a senator, for instance, that you would know after 2 years that you are part of the unprogrammed funds. Mr. President, just to put on record, Mr. President, ang unprogrammed funds, doon po sa mga pinapasa nating GAA, meron po siyang provision. Hindi ho ba na hindi ito kayang i-access ng isang tao lamang, gagawa ng proyekto, at kagaya po nung sinabi doon sa Blue Ribbon Committee, na pa-release po niya, Mr. President. Is that
Tama.
correct, Mr. President?
Tama po, doon sa mga previous. We also...
Do we have it still in
No, we
in
don't
the-
have that anymore.
in this particular
Wala na po
2026
kasi limited
budget?
na ho yung use ng unprogrammed to foreign assisted projects and revised AFP modernization.
But we have a provision for the release of these funds, Mr. President, that indeed we put in, we usually put in our GAA that if there are excess revenue collection, new revenue
Yes.
collection. Will that be part of this 2026
Yes, Mr. President,
GAA?
because that will be used to fund the foreign assisted projects and also the modernization program.
Yes, and I agree, Mr. President. And just to put again on record, nandyan po, Mr. President, excess revenue collection, new revenue collection, or those arising from new tax or non-tax sources, at yung approved loans for foreign assisted
Tama
projects.
ho
Is
kayo.
that correct? So again, Mr. President, it strengthen the idea on how we can access unprogrammed funds na hindi po ito maaabuso
Tama
at
ho
hindi
kayo.
po pwedeng i-claim ng kahit sino o isang individual na tao.
Actually, Mr. President, His Honor's experience led to these representations, really reforming the unprogrammed. Talaga hong naabuso ho yan in the past. If my memory serves me correctly, yung 2024 ang flood control lumabas mga around 25 billion.
It's actually 155 billion, Your Honor. The
Tapos
flood control.
2020 from the unprogrammed. This is
Yes,
only from
this is
the
just for the unprogrammed, Mr.
In
President.
2025, if my memory serves me correctly, mga 85 billion yun eh. So talagang nagamit ho for flood control. Kaya tinanggal na ho natin yan based on your experience. Mr.
And this
President.
cannot be released by anyone, Mr. President.
In
It
tw-
has to be passed through the Department of Finance, the Department of Budget and
Actually,
Management.
DBM lang ho ang nagre-release, Mr. President. So certified by the BTR, and then after certification by the BTR, ibibigay na po sa ahensya, implementing agency, at yung implementing agency magre-request na sa DBM.
In short, walang kinalaman ng legislator, Mr. President.
Wala ho talaga.
Thank you,
Wala ho
Mr.
talaga.
President. Thank you, distinguished minority leader, for this short intervention.